There we go.
What's up, crypto legends? Welcome to a live stream today where we're going to discuss the price of Bitcoin and also taking a look at some cryptocurrencies on the chart. I have here Devolt, who is an absolute master in technical analysis. How are you doing, Devolt, today?
Thanks, Andy, for having me here on a lazy Sunday. And
Yes.
myself and Andy decided let's spoil our communities, do a lazy Sunday update, see possible scenarios. And thanks for having me, Andy. Nice to spend some time with the community here on a lazy Sunday afternoon.
Absolutely. I mean, today was a very, very chilled day for me as well. And I just thought, hey, let's just jump into a live stream, analyze the situation. My voice, I've been lying on the sofa, I've been chilling, on the sunshine and thought, hey, let's just get a live stream going on and talk about the, Bitcoin price together. So then, the people can know, the community can actually see, my perspective, they can see your perspective and what we are looking for here for the start of Monday to get into some epic trades. I'm actually in a really nice long trade that we got in a few days ago. I was expecting this bounce to the upside. We can talk about that in just a few minutes, but overall, you're good. I want to know your opinion on the Bitcoin chart, Dewalt. Let's go straight into the meat and potatoes. Then we go through the comment section. I can see Aditya here, one of my moderators, and a lot of people joining in. Let me just quickly say hello. We've got Mr. Duke, we've got Alf, we've got Aditya, Daniel, maybe Bandite, Davey, Relief. How are you doing? Jagana, Sandra, Nextcar. How are you guys doing? Let's go through the charts, and I'm going to leave it to Devolt to go through that pure technical analysis, higher time frame, lower time frame. What is going on, Devolt? Where are those trading opportunities? We are here to make money.
Yes, we are, Andy, and it's always a game of probability. So let me add this to the stage. And, Andy, quickly, before we jumped onto the live stream, I told you that I'm expecting some sort of a fake out, okay? Because I see everyone, and when everyone is watching a pattern, the market makers are going to make it difficult. Everyone is watching this triangle, okay? And the one thing I thought about last night while I was laying in bed is to say that there are, from the research and the podcast that I've been listening to, Andy, there are so many new people entering the trading space. And I think the market makers have their game cut out for them, because if there are more people trading the same patterns, trading the same strategies, they're going to start making it more difficult. Okay. So a simple triangle like this is most probably not going to be a simple triangle anymore. You're most probably going to see fake outs to the upside, fake outs to the downside, and then you're going to see a true move either to the upside or a continuation to the downside, confusing everyone that's starting to learn pattern trading, the new retail traders coming in. So I have prepared a couple of Elliott wave bearish scenarios where we can expect a couple of fake outs to the up and to the downside. And I would like to take you guys through that today.
Nice. I want to see that.
Without further ado, I think, Andy, the trade that you are most likely in is this one over here. Okay. And you've most probably caught this little triple, bottom over here, with that potential bump and run scenario where you have the two touches, you have the bump to the downside, and you broke out. Beautiful retest. I think that was also a nice long entry here where you had a value area inside here. And I'm in a slightly higher time frame over here where we had lots of choppiness here to the downside, and eventually we got to move back up. So I also entered the long over here, not this one. Okay.
Yeah. I actually got stopped out once on that one because we did create a bit of choppiness on the lower time frames, 15-minute, 5-minute time frame. So it was, you're very, very choppy. And I was, but I was saying to the community, this is the moment, if it might chop another again, it might form a double, a triple, a quadruple bottom right there. And we want to try and catch that last wick recovery. So I did get stopped out once here at a loss, minor loss, but overall made, almost 5 times my stop loss. So, this is the whole beauty of it, understanding, the risk management, when to enter. It doesn't matter getting stopped out once. I got stopped out, the other day trying to long this, trade, with very good risk management. And overall, the trade setup has played out very, very nicely, claiming those highs at, 69,000, $400 range, right? The highs that we created
Yes.
on the what day was it? The 4th of April. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'll leave you to it, and then I'll go through my charts as well, explain a few scenarios. But let's go forward
Yeah,
with
and I
your.
think, Andy,
Mm,
such a beautiful trade because, we spoke about this value area range over here, and I kind of saw this level as the last line in the sand from a support perspective,
yeah,
or
yeah,
we can go down to much lower levels.
mm,
And I think during one of your YouTube updates, you also spoke about we need to hold this level. We need to hold this level. And then we
yeah,
started, we dipped in, I entered, and I got stopped out with this little week as well. Okay.
yeah,
But then when I saw the recovery back up, not managing to close the body of the candle
mm,
inside of this range, I was like, hang on, this looks like it wants to go up. Okay.
yeah.
So beautiful trade over here, nonetheless. Okay. But I think before we dive in here to the smaller time frames, let me go back onto the 4 hour over here. Let's just discuss a couple of bearish Elliott wave scenarios that could play out. Okay.
Mhm,
So everyone is obviously watching this triangle over here, and I can even,
mm,
for the sake of this, take these trend lines out. Okay, just clean it up a little bit. And I have here on the side, I have 3 scenarios that I'm currently watching, and I feel the one of them has a higher probability. We'll just have to observe price reaction when we do hit those levels.
mhm,
Okay. Let me go through number 2 and 3 because I think they have higher probability of playing out, and then the lowest probability one I'll tackle through last. Okay, number
right.
2, what I am looking at, and I know it looks a bit messy when I switch it on, but I want to explain it step by step so I can perhaps
Mhm,
just switch off the fibs here. Okay, this is kind of the scenario that I'm watching over here, is to say
mhm,
that we have a WXY structure, okay, which is also an A, B, C to the upside, where you have the fake out, where you grab the liquidity above the highs, okay,
mhm,
only to get a move down to go and complete a 5C wave structure here to the downside.
mhm.
And more or less measuring out this move is to say that if I take a fib to measure the B wave, you'll see that from A
Yeah,
to B is between the 1.23 and the 1.236, 1382, 1.236. So anywhere in this area, I
yeah.
would personally like it to grab this top line because then you're grabbing that nice liquidity above this high
Mm,
as well. Okay. Where we
mhm,
could see that fake out, making people extremely bullish here to the upside. And I already see bearish CVD
mm,
locally starting to build up here. So there's a high probability that this could play out where we go up and we come back down. So you have a fake out to the upside and you have a fake out to the downside. But this move to me is still bullish because even when you're finished with the C wave, you are now going to start building impulses back to the upside, which is then continuing the bullish structure and potentially going to claim $80,000, $90,000, or even $100,000. We'll just have
mm,
to observe the price reaction when we get there. The other trend-based fib is then purely speculating that if the B wave had to end here, where can the C wave end? And that is basically A, B, C. And you can see here by the 1.618, which is a common C wave target, is where you fall down, you grab the liquidity below A,
mm,
creating that fake out, and then continue, then for the true breakout to happen to the upside.
mm.
Okay. So this is one scenario that I'm watching, but there's also another one I think that you've spoken about as well. Okay, so switch this off and we go to scenario number 3. Okay, this is kind of the scenario. It's a little bit of a bigger fake out.
Mm,
Okay, and I think, Andy, this is one that you've spoken about as well. Me and you
yeah.
actually, is to say that this B wave here to the upside is not finished yet, and we can
Mm,
have a flat expanding B wave here to the upside where you have an A massive B here to $78,000, $77,000, making people even more bullish, extremely bullish. We're going to $100,000, where you have a larger A, B, and then this C wave to the downside is a five impulsive wave to the downside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where you then tap the 1.618, making people extremely bearish, grabbing all of the liquidity below here because there's massive liquidity here. So I like this scenario more because of how bullish and how bearish it's going to make people when this plays out. Okay. I don't know what you think about this scenario, Andy.
Absolutely. I do see this as one of the scenarios playing out. You know, the thing about as traders, Devolt, you know, we have to be ready for any of these scenarios. So no doubt that if we do break all-time high, depending on what kind of reactions we do have at those, you know, Fibonacci levels. And I
Yes.
always like to talk about the double, triple tops, right? When the price is getting choppy, we're forming local bearish CVD divergence. You know, we're getting a little bit of those signs of data that the price could reverse. No doubt that, you know, this area above all-time high is just going to be a level to consider entering a short position. Because, I mean, also what I think now, Dewalt, is that we have a lot of selling pressure above all-time high. You know, everybody's in profits when we're hitting all-time high. And since, you know, for the last few weeks, every time we've hit all-time high, we haven't had a major large move, right? We haven't pumped $10,000-$15,000 after breaking all-time high, going to price discovery. Every
Yes.
time that we're hitting all-time high, it's kind of getting several $1,000s of a big major pullback of selling pressure. As a, you know, not only everybody's in profits, you know, big money is in profits, institutions are in profits. So, and when they sell, you can see a big movement down of several $1,000s, right, in a matter of a few hours. So, you know, this scenario does make a lot of sense, that, you know, we could be seeing a big, larger move down if we do break all-time high in that ABC flat. So, you know, I totally agree on this scenario. I will be ready to look for short positions, but obviously being very patient as well, as you
Yes.
will be fighting the trend, right? This is something interesting that I've learned during the last few years, and not over, you know, many years, even, you know, the last, you know, 1 to 2 years, is when we're trying to find a top or a bottom, we need to always flip to the other side and say, look, we are fighting the trend, right? And we need to be very patient to see that exhaustion, to see that sign of weakness with those double, triple, you know, quadruple tops or bottoms, and go with the trend as well. Because me, with the Legends community, I like to, you know, say to them, look, this is a strong higher time frame resistance that I'm possibly looking for a short here. However, I will be looking for scalp longs, you know, going with the trend. I'm also wanting to go with the trend, understanding that, hey, you know, those highs that have been created an hour ago, you know, they're very likely going to be tested again to see if we're going to break out or double top or triple top. So we need to always have that perspective as a trader, right? You know, looking for shorts, but also looking for longs, right, at the same time. Super important. Just a little tip that I wanted to say there, Devolt.
Definitely, Andy. And I think, you know, it's also, this is going to be, you know, even taking the, let's say this structure, just for argument's sake, let's say this structure is going to play out. This is going to make a lot of people very bullish when we break through here and we find strength above this level and we don't SFP. This is going to look extremely bullish. So I know a lot of people will then ask me, but how are you going to know if price is becoming weak over here? And I suppose for me, Andy, the best example that I can use is when we were over here. Okay. I just want to show everyone, if I go into CVD, right? Yeah, on the 5-minute time frame. And where was that price action? It was over here. Okay. Yeah. See this price action over here?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I just want to translate that back into the price. It's when we made this high over here. So I'm on the 5-minute here. I'm on the 4-hour here. So it's a bit difficult. But nonetheless, it was this price action. So if we had to start hitting these levels, these FIP levels, so I will definitely have these FIP levels marked out on my chart. And when we start hitting them, and I start seeing things like this, okay, where you claim to, well, you fail to claim the level. Okay, you come back to the 618 and the 786 and you reject. And then look what happened over here when we came back up. So a FIP taken from the high to the low at the 618. Look what happened to CVD. So I will be looking at local CVD to see if we find or build up bearish CVD, not looking at the larger time frames. I like the 5-minute because I feel that local CVD also always have or paint the direction better than like a 15-minute or a 1-hour CVD. So if I had to see something like this, it will give me confidence to start looking for shorts. But if I don't see any bearish CVD and it just keeps on building up a bullish CVD for momentum to the upside, I will just keep some of that position open, expecting us to go and claim higher levels.
Yeah, I mean, remaining patient and waiting to see what the price action does at those levels is going to be absolute key. But this is like always, right? Always be remaining patient, look for the exhaustion, look for bearish CVD, look for the reaction, double, triple tops, right? And all of this, price action is going to be absolutely key to then jump into the short, possibly, right? Because if not, we're still looking for longs on the lower time frame, 1 minute, 3 minute. I use volume strategy. You very much know about volume strategy, where you have those nice volume spikes to the upside. You retrace, you break with high volume, and then you bounce to that high volume peak. So I think when you're remaining patient to see if a level is going to get a reaction, just get into those small little scalp longs as you do, start getting the exhaustion, because
exactly. And I think you speak about it so often, Andy, where you say that even if you're feeling bearish, okay, and the trend is down, you can still play longs. And even when you're bullish, you can still play shorts to that little scalp shorts to the downside. So I can be a bull and a bear within 4 hours. I can be a bull and a bear, and I've made profits both on a long and a short because I've been observing price reaction as we hit specific levels. And I think I don't trade Elliott waves, and I tell my community this as well. It's just interesting to see it's interesting to see what
the
price
scenarios.
could potentially do, scenarios. And then when we do hit those levels, I want to see how we react at those levels. And I think that's why I do Elliott wave targets more so. I'm trying to work out where's the targets where we could see those little fake outs and the turnaround in the price. And then, look at CVD, have a little line there. Do we fail to break through, or are we accepting the level as support and for continuation to the upside? Okay.
I mean, I remember you a few days ago in the Legends trading community. I mean, I want to share the chart because you actually gave the target zone of this corrective move that happened in basically a few days ago. This was Wednesday, about Thursday from this week. And shout out to you, by the way, because I did watch your update. We are here. It's always good if you are here. We know it's good to know your opinion, different opinions from people that are actually trading, right? People that are actually looking at the analysis and trading. And I remember you talking about this movement to basically the movement right over here. This is that triple bottom that you absolutely nailed. And I actually missed out on this long. I did get stopped out once, and basically I was waiting for the long position here. However, I remember you talking about this wave to the upside, this corrective wave, and the extension, which is the 1.618 from this pivot low, pivot high to the pivot low right there. Just
absolute perfection.
Getting tapped to perfection. And you were talking about this when we were trading here. So, this is actually a really, really, kind of almost a crystal ball, right? But this is when we have
it's so technical. It is so technical,
based on the recoveries. If you do form a wave up here, breaking the lower highs from this price action, you're already breaking a little bit of this local structure, and you're already coming with the plan that this might be either a 1, 2, 3 or an ABC. It doesn't matter. but you need
Yeah.
to form that third wave to potentially hit the 1.618, which, almost hits to the dollar. And you were talking about this, days in advance, just because obviously we talk about several scenarios, right? We have different scenarios to the upside, to the downside, but this is the moment, where you want to take those, you want to take those trading plans and understand the projected move. I think we were hitting a naked point of control right there, if I'm not mistaken, as well. We were, I think there was a daily level. I mean, I've deleted all of this on the chart right now, obviously, but
Yeah.
I think it was basically testing these lows. I think there was a daily level, but I know this was actually a pretty good level to long as well, as you were hitting the 618 Fibonacci right there and recovering very
Yes.
nicely with an SFP from the local lows from Wednesday. And I did not long. The one that I longed is here. And I'm still in that
Yes.
long position, taking most of the profits here as we've hit this high, which is create a little local swing failure pattern and choppiness. So I thought, I'm happy. What if this does double top? I'm happy to take some profits here. But anyway, just to make the people understand that, in the Legends community, you always welcome Legends, to join there, because we do updates every single day, and we trying to look for the possible projections on the chart and looking for the trading setups with very good risk management, right? Neither you or me, we know exactly what's going to happen. Nobody knows, but we really try and do our best to look for the possible projections. And shout out to you, Devol, because this one was absolutely fascinating. The triple bottom right there, looking for the long and actually looking for this recovery to hit the 1.618, which was a absolutely fantastic prediction on your side there.
Thank you. I think we all have our good weeks and we also have our bad weeks. And I think, as traders, that's why you build that community, to rely on each other, is to say that when I have a bad week, I can rely more on Andy's analysis. And when Andy has a bad week, you can look more at my analysis and still keep, but it's still risk management that keeps you in the game and successful. And I think last week there was just so many trades that I hit the nail to perfection. I was even surprised with myself. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe this
in the
played out
zone.
exactly.
Yeah. This is the moment, as a trader, you get into the zone many times, and sometimes you're in the zone for 2-3 weeks, right? And you feel so powerful and you feel like invincible that you're the TA wizard, right? But
Yes,
then the
yes,
market humbles you. The market comes back and
definitely.
humbles you and just tells you this is a game of probabilities, and you're not the TA master, you're not the trader master. You just, having good risk management. You need to always have your risk management into place. But yeah, it's pretty fascinating. Sometimes you do get into the zone, and this happens
Yeah,
to me, at least once a month, where I'm a very good, solid week or almost 2 weeks, where I'm really in the zone and I'm nailing many, many trades, consistently. But then obviously you get, 1 or 2 stop losses, that's when the market humbles you, right? And he's like, hey, calm down there. You're not the market wizard, and you get into a small little loss. And that's, that's the risk management, always you need to pay off the market, at some point always. And we need to always manage that risk, right? Just pay a
yeah,
little bit to the market. Don't get into that death spiral of a massive swing, long or short, where you're in underwater in the negative and hoping that the market is going to reverse at some point, because this is, basically where I got burnt, and everybody gets burnt like this, right? When they're holding a losing position,
yes,
like
and
get
adding
out
to it and adding to
and
it and
adding to
making
it.
it
Yeah.
bigger.
I think most of us have been there, especially, people like you and me that are, consistent and profitable. We've always been, we've been in that scenario, and you learn from that scenario. I say it every single live stream, almost every single live stream, do not trade like this, because you're
Yes,
finally going to burn your account, or at least half of your account, right? Anyway,
definitely. Yeah, and
yeah,
Andy, it's so important what you're saying, is that, I felt like I was in the zone, last week, where I just got every single analysis spot on, or most of them spot on.
Yeah.
But I know from experience that the market can turn against you so quickly, where your analysis feels like, what was I even smoking by telling people that this is going to play out? But
Yeah.
then it is
Yeah.
risk management that protects you, and and you stay humble, and you say, guys, and I think, Andy, I think one thing that myself and you do very well is that we always go through both bullish and bearish scenarios, and we have a plan for both, because I can't just sit here and tell my community we're going up to $100,000, buy, and
Yeah.
then people liquidate their accounts. And I was like, yeah, I did see the bearish scenario, but I was feeling bullish. No,
Yeah.
no, you can't trade on feeling. You have to trade on what the technicals are telling you.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, anyway, let's crack on. I mean, I'm going to go
Yes.
quickly through the comment section. Just say hello. I can see Philip here. Hello, Philip. How are you doing? Any explanation that does not take much risk? BTC will dump, I'll bet, says William. It will dump and it will pump, right? What
Yeah.
about SPX sell-off? SPX sell-off? There's been an SPX sell-off. That's the S&P 500. Did we have a sell-off on Friday, D-Volt? I haven't taken that at the S&P 500, to be honest.
I also haven't looked at the stocks yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Frank Geddes, how are you doing? Marcin, Crypto King, Anup. Hello, guys. All good, all good. I think we can continue with Bitcoin analysis. I mean, shall we talk about... You've gone through the higher time frames, D-Volt, a little bit.
Yeah, there's one more scenario which I think has the lowest price. So I'll just briefly tackle on that, and then we can perhaps analyze possible trading setups to look out for the next coming day or hours.
Yeah.
And so just quickly, Andy, what I wanted to highlight is scenario number one. And this is a little bit of a more complex scenario, where you basically have an A, B, C, D, E, and then you have a final wave here, Y wave to the downside. So just to paint this picture, and I think a lot of people like to see these little lines. I like to take them out because they clutter my chart, but a lot of people like to see that. And let me just switch these ones on as well. Okay. We're basically staying inside. We're going to keep on ranging inside of the triangle. We're going to form a final E wave, which is also a WXY. Then we'll have a small little fake out here. Okay, small little fake out, a bigger fake out to the downside, grabbing the liquidity below this low over here for then continuation to the upside. So for now, this probability can definitely play out. But from an Elliott wave scenario, I like to have like 3 or 4 possible Elliott wave scenarios that could potentially play out, is to say that this little wave that we are forming here to the upside can definitely, and I have this line as an SFP line. So possible trading setup over here is that I am looking, okay, at this level as a possible SFP level right over here, okay, and then obviously another one over here, 2 SFP levels. I want to see how price reacts when we get to these levels, because then we can make a deeper correction to the downside, or even come and claim the liquidity above these highs over here. So even from a smaller time frame perspective, I'm looking at the reaction as we hit each level, and even the top of this channel. Do we find strength, or does it look weak, where you have a wick to the upside, you have a closing body of the candle below, you see some maybe bearish local CVD kicking in, only to reject here from this local high over here?
Yeah, I mean, there is a daily naked point of control that we almost tapped with the pump that we've had during the last 24 hours, hitting that 69,700 range, you know, from the 2nd of April, if I'm not mistaken, where you have that SFP level at $70,000. Yeah, that consolidation that we do have below. Yeah, we do have a high volume node.
There we go.
Exactly, right over there. That hasn't been tapped. So,
well, it's been tapped on Binance. I'm not sure about
Binance, right?
So let's look at this quick. So I can see here, just tapped today. Well, it was tapped, today, this morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, it was tapped, and look at the rejection that we got to the downside.
It actually formed a local swing value, a local double top, right? Local double top right there on the lower time frames as we were tapping that level. So, I mean, that would have been a good short trade. If I would have been in front of the computer, I would have I would have got into that short for sure.
Definitely. We do have a naked one over here that looks juicy though.
From yesterday's price action, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, trainings. I mean, I feel still a bit bullish, but no doubt that the price is getting some weird reactions here. I mean, no doubt. I think we could even form another high right now from 69,800 range, test the highs one more time, and then get a pretty decent pullback. Price
Yes.
action is getting choppy. It is getting choppy. It's just
And like you
yeah, I mean,
mentioned, Andy, like what happened over here, triple bottom, here at the bottom.
yeah,
Triple bottom, yeah, where you
exactly.
caught the long. So,
Yeah,
beautiful long year, beautiful long year.
yeah.
This will be for me
One
an
more
ultimate
test.
short. One more
One,
test. So, 1, 2, I would like to see grab of liquidity,
yeah,
getting weakness, acceptance
yeah,
back below the level. And I would definitely target this consolidation area over
yeah,
here
yeah,
for a TP where you could,
yeah.
take, and I think, you take your fib from the wherever that top is going to be, round about here. You can see the consolidation, nice profit area zone over here. And
Yeah.
then also a little bit down, we have a daily, untapped daily level that we can go and potentially tap if we get more momentum down here, perhaps another SFP, triple bottom, double bottom for then continuation back to the upside.
Yeah. I think it's a good plan. It's a good plan to hit that 70,000. And I mean, it's a nice round psychological number if we do attempt to hit $70,000, right, on the test of the highs of basically the last 24 hours. And
But
we
also
are.
look at this, Andy. This
Wow.
now
Yeah.
this is what I looked at before we jumped on the stream, is to say that, wow,
Wow.
look at yellow just flying up here. Okay, we're forming a little bit of a triangle. So even between this pivot where we are
Yeah.
right now and this pivot, so there's a chance that if we had to come back up here, grab these highs for that, acceptance back below the level, for a nice little short entry to the downside.
There is massive bearish CVD divergence actually on Bybit. Absolutely crazy. A lot of people longing
Yes.
at this level. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think the best scenario that I do see here, to be honest, is actually testing that high. I would set some alerts at that 69,700, 800 range and
Set
look
your
for,
alarms. And
yeah.
I think another level that I'll watch here as well is definitely claiming these lows, getting acceptance back below, and even
Mm,
this one over here. I would keep an eye on this one as well. It could be one of those large weeks where you get acceptance back below.
mm,
It's going to
mm,
be a little bit of a higher stop loss, but I do think that the risk to reward will make up for it, because I do see this as a profit taking area, considering
mm.
that you can make almost twice or 3 times your stop loss.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you do take a look at the price action that we've, since the 2nd of April, 2nd, 3rd of April, which is
This.
basically the waves that we've been moving to the upside. It's kind of already in a 5-wave diagonal structure kind of momentum that we can see how, from that low is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I see what you see. Kind of 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5.
Yeah. And
Yeah. I
I
see what
think,
you see. I just this is,
yeah,
it
it's
just
overlapping.
grinds
Yeah,
my skin a little bit. Yeah.
it's overlapping quite a lot. But yeah, I
But
mean, I do.
nonetheless, it could
Mm,
be. So let's say it is valid, Andy, to your point that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's say it is valid, okay, and this
mm,
is now 5. It does look like if this is a 5th wave, some
it's-
downwards momentum would be in
oh,
order. Okay,
yeah. No,
definitely.
no.
So perhaps an A, B, C to the downside,
Mm,
SFPing from the daily level, or we could come down a little bit further to this 1.618 ratio down here.
mm,
Okay. But
yeah.
I do see some local weakness, Andy. So I think for the people in the community looking for a nice little scalp or a day trade setup, I would definitely be keeping an eye on the price action over here. Okay, keep an eye on this price action. I do see some local bearish CVD. We are grabbing some liquidity above these highs. It does look like price is slowing down, and some retail traders will say, well, this is a nice little bull flag and we're just going to go up from here. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't trust these patterns. I would like to see a grab of the liquidity and getting acceptance back below. Okay, that would be a nice little ticket for me to come and at least claim this 0.618 level over here in confluence with this consolidation area. But it looks weak. I mean, also looking at volume, and Andy, looking at the volume down here, it's just falling down. The volume is just falling down. So it's looking for a bigger move to the upside or to the downside. And from a bullish perspective, I mean, I just have to highlight it, guys, that if we find acceptance back above the highs with high green volume coming in, and I would say at least a 15-minute to an hour body candle close above here, okay, the body of the candle, not the wick, we could be going up to higher levels. And then I will looking at this daily level over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to highlight that if we find strength, it's
Yeah.
don't.
I mean, this is what I was mentioning with the community as well. We're trying to detect that top, but as we try to detect the top, we're going up, right? We're just going up and up. So we need if we do get a pretty nice breakout above yesterday's highs, and we do retrace, it's no doubt that we can look for a scalp long still. We can still look for a scalp long there. And just wait for the exhaustion, because when the price gets exhausted, you do double, triple, quadruple tops, right? You get those wicks always testing the highs. And if you do get a move up now going to 70,000, 70,100, and you get a pretty decent pullback without testing that high on the lower time frames, such as the 1 minute, 3 minute, that there's an extreme high probability that corrective move is going to get a bounce, and it's going to test the high again at least once, right? Till it double tops or till it triple tops, right? Just like what happened yesterday, basically at this level of 69,750. You can see that wick to the upside. It did create a swing failure pattern from the highs of the 5th of April. It did get a pullback, but overall the price did go back up and test the highs. So, I think, if we do get the breakout above the highs of the last 24 hours, in that small little pullback, I would be interested in looking for a scalp long to test the highs, no doubt, still. So get the breakout, retrace quickly on low time frames. I would be looking for those, for that support level. VWAP being one of them, the highs of yesterday and today, also being a resistance support flip, you name it, right? Adding that confluence to see if, where the price could get a pretty nice bounce. I would be also looking at volume strategy, possibly, because that move up from, I'm not sure if it was late last night, but the highest volume move up, that one. Yeah.
7
You
April,
break out,
1 o'clock.
If you break out nicely with volume in the next coming hours, I would be looking at that peak high from that candlestick, between the wick and the body candle close to possibly hold for a quick bounce, at least to have an attempt in testing the high of the breakout. Basically, that kind of move. It's a very, very tradable. They happen all the time. They have extreme high probability, and it's a kind of a quick in and out. The thing is about your stop loss here, where to put your stop loss. And you would consider putting it beneath the last higher lows. Somewhere around that area, I think, is acceptable. The thing about these scalping longs, the risk to reward is not usually that huge.
Right.
But they're high probability, that's for sure.
Yeah, and what I've also found is when I do play a volume strategy, as soon as we get the move out of this area, I will always already start moving my stop loss up, because I'm not expecting price to come back down, because
Yeah.
that's how yeah, you're right, Andy. The risk to reward is usually like a 1-to-1 or 1.5. It's not very
Yeah.
high, but what I do like about them is as soon as you get the breakout, I start moving my stop loss up. And just to try and manage risk. Yeah, and obviously by moving your stop loss, you do increase the probabilities of yourself being stopped out. But I generally just don't like playing a 1-to-1 ratio. My minimum entry requirement is usually a 2 risk to reward a ratio. So yeah, it's a small little scalp, perhaps low leverage, low capital. If you do get stopped out, it's a small little knock on the chin. You're willing to take the knock. Definitely.
All right. So scenarios. I'm gonna, if you want, I can jump on the chart. You can read a bit
Yes.
of a comment section, see if there is any altcoins on demand, and I'll do a bit of Bitcoin. If you do see any interesting altcoins, Dewalt, then you can potentially take a look at one of them and do a bit of TA. I'll jump onto the chart on Bitcoin, and remember, BTC is the future asset. All countries will buy it. That is actually true. That is true. There's no lie about that comment. So yeah, it is definitely, it's already happening. You would arguably discuss, something that I wanted to point out here. Let me just share the screen right away, and talk about this right over here. You can see this, right, Devolt?
Yes, I can.
This is the Kingdom of Bhutan, which is apparently a country in South Asia that's mining capacity has 6x ahead of the Bitcoin halving to 600 megawatts. So, nation state FOMO is setting in. A lot of countries, are, no doubt understanding Bitcoin, understanding that, the global, the countries' currencies are in a right state. There's super inflation, hyperinflation on many other countries during the last few years. And understanding that Bitcoin is the real solid, asset, money that you would arguably discuss. And, you can see these countries being very bullish on them. And yeah, I mean, this is one of the countries that is actually, 6x ahead of the Bitcoin halving to 600 megawatts on their, basically their mining capacity. And the halving is just 13 days away. So there is going to be a massive supply shock in the next coming months. Overall, we know this, guys. Bitcoin is bullish for the long term. Short term, we could get that volatility. We could drop beneath $60,000. I want to talk about some major levels here, like Devolt. Everybody's taking a look at this symmetrical triangle. If I'm I'm sure that they are. I've actually seen it on Twitter as well. I like to take a look at Twitter, with my morning coffee, to take a look at some news and stuff that is going on. But I have seen a few of these symmetrical triangles, which is obviously, you can see it on the chart, no doubt. You're seeing the lower highs and the higher lows. So the thing is, what if this symmetrical triangle is going to extend a little bit more? I mean, and it should not extend much more. You're almost basically at 70% of the pattern, you could arguably discuss. And it's ready for the breakout or the fake out. A lot of resistance. It is very hard at this point, because we do have local resistance here. Got that naked point of control. You got a massive consolidation that we had here from the 25th of March till the 2nd of April, leaving, value area low right there, where we are getting the resistance, basically right there. We have the point of control of the zone, which is very close to that naked point of control from the price action of the 1st of April. It's just a lot of resistance. No doubt that this area, I'm going to look for the shorts. If we test those highs one more time and we reject, I'm jumping into a short position. That is for sure. But what if we do get the breakout? I mean, if we do break out solidly from this $70,000 area, we still got a lot of resistance above us, to be honest. We still, we got the 7-8 Fibonacci from the highs to the lows, which is sitting at 70,200. We got the lower high resistance from the trend line, which is, if we were to hit it in between today and tomorrow, it's sitting around about the 70,600 to 700. That is if we do move there in between today and tomorrow. There's just a lot of resistance right there. It's going to be a bit complex to find out, where the price is going to reverse. I think the best deal here is just looking for those double, triple tops to jump into that position. But I managed to successfully get into a short position here and successfully get into a long position here. I am still in that long position here on Bybit, exactly on that triple bottom, already taken over $2,000 worth of profit. I think this trade is basically done. Will we go at higher levels? I'm really not interested. I'm interested in getting into another trading setup here. And I think the next one could be in between today and tomorrow, which is this one that we are discussing right now. Devolt is possibly testing above yesterday's highs, trying to attempt to hit $70,000 and possibly creating that, double, triple top. Legends, you have an incredible deal down below on Bybit. Bybit is the #1 most trusted crypto exchange out there, thanks to their track record and their transparency. For me, it's the #1. I totally trust them. I know I will have no issue trading with them. And for me, it's, I could not discuss this with you. Bybit for me is #1. You got the greatest deals down below in the description. If you cannot trade on Bybit, of course, a great alternative is Mexi. I know me and Devolt, Devolt also, trades on Mexi, such as myself, for scalping. They are going to go KYC in the next coming months. If I'm not mistaken, in June, we are looking for another no KYC trusted platform, because I think it is definitely worth, having a no KYC platform, obviously, just to sign up with an email and a password, basically. But for the moment, you still got a few months for no KYC on Mexi. Check out the bonuses down below, legends. Right. Bitcoin. I think no doubt that this symmetrical triangle could have one more leg to the downside. We could be looking for a fake out in this area. I am interested in short positions. I am interested in getting into shorts with good risk management. Of course, I am aware of the price just shooting up here and getting above $72,000. One of the main reasons as well is this bump and run pattern that we have been talking about here just a few days ago. And the bump and run pattern target is actually hitting the highs from the start of the the lead in phase, right, where you have those lower highs right over here, and it's actually taking those highs out, which is sitting around about $71,800. That is where we do have a bunch of liquidity. We do have a bunch of liquidity sitting at the $72,000 range. So I mean, we need to react as traders. It's a pretty random me saying, I'm bearish, but I know we can go to 72K. It's like, this dude, he's bullish, but he's bearish. Somebody put him down. Yeah, but we just need to react as traders at certain levels, right? It's as simple as that. Sometimes we need to talk about the levels, and this level is no doubt a resistance zone. We could be just hitting that 7-8 Fibonacci from pivot high, pivot low, and try an attempt in the breakout and creating another wick right there. And then finally, obviously creating that, double, triple top, if you wish, and then getting that pretty decent pullback of, several $100s, even over $1,000, maybe in the next 24 hours. Anyway, let's go right away. Devolt, do you see anything in the comment section? Anything interesting? Altcoins?
I see we do have a super chat. Someone asking for Kava.
All right, Kava. Do you know Kava is like champagne in Catalonia? It's like a kind of champagne. Anyway, had to be said. Every time some people ask me for Kava, I always think in that champagne, Catalonian champagne. Right. Let's
Okay.
go. What do we have?
So I've got cover open here just to quickly analyze cover from a high time frame to a high time frame perspective. I mean, it really looks good. You can see I've got some resistance areas identified over here. We are still inside of accumulation zone. And I feel like a person that just keeps on repeating myself is that Andy and myself and you have seen already coins that have done that have done this.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And like Render is already in price discovery. Injective Protocol is already in price discovery. Solana and Rune is over here already. There's some altcoins that have done phenomenal things. So when I look at the altcoins that I have here in red, these are the ones that I am looking at that have not done this as yet. So you have to be patient. These are patient trades where you want to build your position. Yeah. Okay. You don't want to see that and then, oh crap, I forgot to add this to my spot bag. And then you start buying and you get a correction back to the downside, retesting this accumulation zone, bleeding out your account, FOMOing out of your trade, taking the knock on the chin only for it to then continue. You know, that's how people lose money. They FOMO in and they buy the tops. You get a correction, they sell because they can't take the knock on the chin. And then when price goes back up again, they start buying again. No, you have to be clever about the trades. And I always tell my community as well that, I mean, this is the area when you have done your research, you believe in the fundamentals, you think that this coin is one of those coins that it's at least going to come and claim the all-time highs from a fundamental perspective.
Yeah.
This is where you build your position. This is where you do it. Nowhere else. You don't do it. Yeah. You don't do it. You're too late for the party. Okay.
You know, I mean, I got there's a great accumulation zone on Chainlink, you know, between $5 and $7-8. It was very, very clear. I was buying like crazy Chainlink because I'm a strong believer on Chainlink in the future, in the near future. But also Metis is one of them. It's an L2 solution for Ethereum, and this one did about almost a 6x approximately, you know, in the last few months. And it was forming this same, you know, kind of structure on Kava as well. And I know Kava is quite an OG project. It's been live for over 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. You know, it's a pretty OG project, and I think it's a pretty solid project. You know, no doubt, I feel bad for the people that are going to enter the market, new freshmen, right? New fresh people that are fresh meat that are going to be joining the market in the next coming months when everything is pumping like crazy, because yeah, a lot of people will be buying, FOMOing in, just like it happens every single time. Luckily, I started crypto, Dewalt, in 2018, in the middle, you know, stages to around about May, June, when everything was actually collapsing. And, you know, my first Bitcoin was accumulated at $6,000 range, $7,000 area. And I was already buying to the downside, understanding the cycles. But, you know, whoever entered into 2017, right, at the almost end stages, and also the ones that entered in 2021, you know, they just buying at the wrong moment. And this will happen again in the next, you know, 6 to 18 months. We're going to see a big FOMO moment. And I think a lot of new people will be joining in, buying late, basically. And but it is what it is. Like, we could not do anything about it, right? But no doubt that Kava looks insane. I feel like buying some Kava myself, not, you know, just by looking at the chart. I have really no idea about the fundamentals and the roadmap and what are they achieving for the next, you know, couple of years. But just the chart looks very, very nice, to be honest.
Yeah. And I mean, Andy, just to hammer on that point that you've just mentioned, and I want to look the people in the eyes when I say this. Everyone, Andy's community, my community, I believe, and this is my research and where I've been in the market cycles, if you are watching this stream, you are still early. Okay. Some of the altcoins that we are identifying here, obviously with good risk management, doing your own research, no financial advice, my personal opinion, if you watching this live stream today and you are building up spot bags for your favorite altcoins like Kava,
Yeah.
Okay, that have not done phenomenal things. I personally have done my research on Kava. That is why it is inside my red list over here of altcoins that I'm currently accumulating. That's just
Mm-hmm.
my research that I've done. Atom, eGold, Dot. These are some of the ones that I feel can still do phenomenal things. You are still early because, like Andy has also mentioned, when this coin does this, the fresh sardines that's going to come in over in this area when you start hitting all-time high areas, we are going, when your mom and your friend that you haven't spoken to in 10 years starts phoning you and saying, hey, what altcoin must I buy? I see everything is ripping. You're going to be that person that says, oh, I'm already taking profits.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where you want to be. That's where you want to
Yeah,
be.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I've already taken some profits, to be honest, on some altcoins, but just because they have pumped quite a lot, such as Metis, right? That did a 5x, and I did put a
Yes,
significant amount, and I sold 50% because, to be honest, as well, that there will be a lot of altcoins that are either not going to hit all-time highs,
yes,
but also they're gonna, some of them are gonna go reach halfway, right? Hit the 50% Fibonacci or 618, and then start getting the pullback. Some altcoins did that on the previous cycle. Some of the
yes.
OG projects, and a
Like
lot of them,
XRP.
yeah, and like XRP, for example, yes. And a lot of them, I feel bad because XRP has a huge army. There's really strong believers. I'm not too sure. I mean, maybe at some point XRP will have a massive run. I don't know.
Yes,
Not too sure about. Never. XRP is not one of my holdings anyway. Um, so the thing is, a lot of them double topped as well. A
yes.
lot of the altcoins on the previous cycle double topped from the 2017 high. And this only tells you that when an altcoin hits all-time high, everybody's in profit, right? And you
Yes,
need to understand that when everybody is in profit, you're going to start seeing a lot of people taking profit. And you do not want to be the last guy holding the
in the
bags
bag. Yes.
and taking the last dollar, right? Be smart, be the first one. If it does go to a little bit higher levels, then don't sell everything, right? But take profit, take 20% out, right? Take 30 if you want to go a bit more aggressive, or 40. But you need at all-time high, it's like you need to take profit. You need to take profit. That is for sure. And that's what happened on me on the previous cycle. I did take about 25% of profits on all of my crypto except for Chainlink. I wish I would have taken much more, right? 50, 60, 70. But it won't happen this time. This time I'm going to be more aggressive taking profits. I don't care about a 20, 30, or 25x. If I'm doing a 10x or a 15x, bring it on. I am banking on that. If the token does it.
Definitely.
Yeah. So,
Definitely. And I think, Andy, that's why I've also got
mm,
high time frame analysis with resistance boxes
yeah.
on top. I have these resistances not to see where price can turn around. I have these resistances as
Yeah.
profit taking areas. Okay, 25%, 25%, 25%, 25%. And then when we do go and hit the all-time highs over here, maybe I'll leave 10% of the position open, but I have
Mhm.
already made insane gains here to the upside. Okay, 6x, when we get to all-time highs, 8x, 9x maybe.
Mm.
Definitely, I'm also not making that mistake again, Andy. Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely not. I think you've taken profits on Phantom, which is, beautiful profit taking area by the 1.618, 2.618, 3.
Yeah.
As you move up, you start, if you have a
Mhm.
big spot that you've built up, take some off the table. Really, you must
Yeah.
take some off the table.
For sure. Yeah, yeah, no doubt. I mean, the good thing about the bull market, you can do some quick flips as well, right?
Yes.
If you do enter late, I mean, there is this accumulation zone for the mid long term, right? For the next 6 to 18 months or something. But I like to do these quick flips. If we can analyze that third wave, right, or an extension wave,
Yeah.
and take advantage to do maybe a 50% profit or a 2x. I do try and with Phantom it did play out very, very well, no doubt, where it did manage to do a 2x, in a matter of a couple of weeks. It was, which was played out very, very nicely.
And I
Dewalt,
think it was with Doge
yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Oh, Dogecoin. Oh, you absolutely nailed the meme coins on Pepe, on Doge, on Shiba. Looking for that third massive wave in between February and March, which was just it was kind of a pretty obvious move that was going to happen. I got a super chat here from Singularity X saying that, Andy, are you going to Token 2049? And yes, I am. I know you are coming soon to Dubai, Dewalt.
Yes, during May, yeah.
But the Token 2049 is in about 2 weeks. I think it is mid-April. But it's a pretty nice, it's a blockchain event. It's no doubt I'm going to go there for sure. It's a really nice event. You should get a flight and come over, Dewalt, to this event. So the answer for that is yes. We got Zilliqa here. Zilliqa. There's a few Zilliqas here in the comment section. What do you think about Zilliqa?
I've got Zilliqa in my red list. I know, I've told people, I've told people that if you have no idea about altcoins, you're still looking for ones that potentially can still, take a screenshot of this, go do research of the ones that I've got highlighted here in red and green. I encourage you to do your own research, go look at the websites, read the white papers if you feel comfortable in it, and you need to make that buying decision, go nibble a little bit. The ones that I have here are the ones that I've done my research and I feel that they haven't done what some of the other altcoins have done. For example, Andy, I've got a big bag of Render, but it's not in that list. Why is it not in that list? Well, this is the reason why. I cannot show the community a coin that has already done what I'm expecting the other ones to do. Look at that. We are in price discovery at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. So the ones that I've identified here are the ones that when you zoom out, you're still looking for that little cup and handle potentially. Okay. So I just wanted to throw that in there. So Zilliqa. Let's go through Zilliqa quick.
I do hold a bag of Zilliqa as well. My entry price is at 2.1 cent. It's a coin that I've been talking about for many, many weeks, before we actually, got the breakout just a few weeks ago at the 2.1, 2.2 cent level. It was consolidating there for a long, long time in between, December, January, and finally started getting the move up above 4 cents, doing that 2x. But it's just I did get a lot of people very impatient with this, and every time I got people, hey, Zilliqa, it's not pumping, and I said, this will pump at some point in the next coming weeks. It's going to pump. And we basically formed finally that third wave, in from January, February, getting that nice momentum to the upside.
What I also like about Zilliqa, Andy, and I've also been trading it for very long over the years. The first thing I have to admit, Zilliqa and Theta, from a trend line perspective, they love fake outs, so they're not easy to day trade. I just want to make that clear. Well, specifically not for me, because you get a lot of fake outs to the upside and downside, but you can see when they rip, oh my word, they just, look at this candle, look at this 2-day candle up here. Absolutely insane, where in a matter of 2-3 days, you had a pump of 4x. Okay, absolutely insane. But Andy, I remember you saying as well, when we tell our communities, buy this one, or I'm buying this one, no financial advice, I'm buying this one, this accumulation zone can still go on for a little while. It can go on and go on and go on, and then one day you see a God candle to the upside, like what happened over here, and you're like, thank heavens I was patient, I sat in my hands, I didn't sell it, and then start FOMO buying into it when it starts pumping, and then potentially price turns against you. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. The bull run is fast. It is fast, and people rush to deposit their money into crypto exchanges. They are late. They feel they're late. They FOMO in. This is very real.
Yeah.
This is something that happens. And this is why these pumps, go to exponential levels, because FOMO and super hype and greed is what makes that God candle, right? In a matter of a few days, a few weeks, right? Because it's like FOMO stage. People do not want to
Yes.
miss out. And all of the massive fresh liquidity comes into the market. And you want to get the heck out when that happens. You don't want to jump in, because there's clear sign that the peak is very, very close.
Definitely.
The thing about these pumps, you never know where the high is, right? You never know how FOMO can kick in, but you always want to get out. Always want to get out slowly and consistently, right? Bang, bang, 10%, 20%. You pump more, get another 20% out. Bang, bang, bang. Scale out.
Definitely. And I think, Andy, just analyzing it very quickly here, I think there's one of two scenarios that can play out here. Is so from an Elliott wave perspective, it's a beautiful 1, 2, and we have now, common third wave target, 1.618.
Yeah.
And then purely, if I take a time fib and I measure this impulse to the correction,
Yeah.
it looks like it likes this 0.618 for a turnaround, okay, from a correction perspective. So if I now say, well, perhaps the market doesn't repeat, but it rhymes from the start of the impulse to where we are right now, close to the 0.618, which tells me that this correction applies to this wave. Okay, we're not just correcting a small little wave here to the on the way up, which then tells me, and I'm getting to a point over here, is that this could be one of two scenarios where we have a 1, 2, 3, and this is a fourth wave, and you're still expecting that liquidity grab above the 3. Okay, and it can go a little bit higher, because I do see that for altcoins, when FOMO kicks in, retail pushes the price up even higher. So you could have that 2.618 tap, and then a larger ABC to the downside, maybe back to this momentum, or you have a running flat where you fail to break this wave over here. We'll just have to see. But without keeping it too technical, it looks like it's going to still get that fifth wave here to the upside. Okay,
for sure.
and then
One more leg
see
up.
a ABC correction here to the downside. One more leg up here. Okay, usually you don't know where the third wave is going to end, but because this correction is so long in time already, I can almost tell you that it looks like the third wave is done. We're expecting a fifth wave and then a larger correction.
Yeah. One more push to the upside, looks like it. Yeah,
but it's still bullish. And Andy, when I tell people that this is still bullish, like this is bullish, and we're gonna, let's say we have a larger correction like this coming to bounce here on this trend, people are like, oh my word. But what they don't realize is this then becomes a 1, 2, 3. This third wave is going to be absolutely face melting to the upside once you've completed this first wave of a bigger impulse to the upside.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is I've also been seeing this as well, Devolt, as in, this is like the first wave of the bull run, right? If we are expecting bull run to happen in, beginning of 2025, mid 2025, like the exponential waves to the upside, we're still in early 2024, right? This is like the early stages. We're going to see sideways momentum. We're going to see corrective moves. We're going to see people in doubt. We're going to see a washout, right? We're going to see people, bringing a bunch of FUD, which is just going to be a nice, fresh retest, reset, sorry.
Yes.
Before the real bull run kicks in, which is obviously that third wave. They could be kicking in after the summer, right? We might be entering a 2-3 month, boring sideways momentum corrective move. Even though if Bitcoin does hit all-time high, it might hit all-time high and then start a pretty deep corrective move for 2-3 months till the end of the summer. And then, once September, October kicks in again, this is where we're going to start seeing, the momentum kick in again. You're going to start seeing the Bitcoin halving, having that supply shock effect. You're going to start seeing big institutions and investors coming back from their summer holidays. and that is when they're going to start coming in again into the market. Just market moves in cycles. Summer I wouldn't expect much in the summer. And just I mean, if we do see the summer from the cycle bull runs, the bull runs on the previous cycles, the summers have been quite punchy. They have been quite,
Yes.
they've had some momentum to the upside. So we don't know how the summer is gonna react, because they might be FOMO on the summer. And a lot of people saying, screw the summer holidays. Bitcoin is supply is shrinking,
Bitcoin's
and
more
there's no
important.
Bitcoin. We'll go for summer holidays in 2025. Let's take advantage of this bull run.
But
So
also,
yeah.
Andy, I'm not sure if you remember from the previous bull cycles, is that the true alt season where you see that face melting price action is usually when Bitcoin is close to its top for that bull cycle. It's
Yeah.
not going to be now. It's, let's say for argument's sake that Bitcoin is going to make its ultimate high for the next bull cycle during November of next year. It's during the November, December where you're going to see that massive, massive
Yeah.
altcoin explosion. And then when Bitcoin starts correcting, you see that dump from the altcoins as well. It's usually the last couple of months when Bitcoin is at the top. It's starting to get weakness. It's starting to turn around. Yeah, that's just what
Yeah. I
I've
mean,
noticed from the previous bull
yeah,
cycles.
yeah. The real moves happen in just a few weeks, like the 10, 20,
Yeah.
30Xs. They happen in just a few weeks. It is quick. And you have a long time to accumulate, but you have a very, very small period to get out of the market when it just goes like a hockey stick, right? Just like this chart right
Yes.
here with big time.
Yes.
You basically can see November, December, right? And you got a hockey stick, basically. You got the flat part where you have a lot of time to accumulate, and then suddenly you have just a few days of the price just ripping. And that's where, you want to get the heck out as soon as you start getting that momentum to the upside, because then it's going to get boring again. It's going to go down, and it's just, you have a lot of time right now to accumulate. But when you make the money is accumulating on these boring downtrend momentum, because once it goes up, you want to start getting the heck out very, very quick. I've got a quick question here. You got big time here on the chart.
Yes.
Somebody was asking about Litecoin. I think he's a new subscriber. Choo Choo TV was saying, can you ask Devolt about, what's his opinion on Litecoin? But anyway, Singularity X, we have, can you guys look at big time? Gaming runs hard. Yeah, I'm very bullish on gaming and also on big time. I know the creators are big time as well. It's a very interesting project, and no doubt there's going to be insane marketing behind this project, in my opinion, based
And
on the owners, creators, are big social media influencers as well. And they're likely gonna get this, and it is a good project, not only because they're they're creators, but it is a good project. And no doubt I do see this one doing very, very well. Especially they're going to take advantage of the bull run, and they're going to know how to market big time for sure.
definitely. And just quick analysis here on big time is that I think we just need to hold the support. And this at the moment looks like the accumulation zone over here, where you dip in, you're not breaking down. You dip in, you go up. You dip in, you go up. I mean, ultimately, yeah, if you wait for the break of this trend, you're going to catch your entry a little bit late. But for now, it looks
Yeah,
like this zone is holding, and this is where
base. Yeah,
potentially you want to start accumulating in this zone. We're holding this range over here.
yeah,
Okay. We had the breakout. We've now retested it as support 3 times already. So, if you can build your position here, and by
yeah,
the time you get to this line, you are already in profits. Okay. That's
yeah,
just
yeah.
how I would play this. Yeah.
And even though, to be honest, even though it's no doubt a good zone, because you are touching base right there, you are touching a pretty solid floor level from price action of January and February. But if you break down from this level, I would go not all in, but I would, really buy a lot of it, because
I mean, look at what happened here. It looks like you're losing the level. When you start seeing that candle, and yeah, I agree. When you start seeing that candle, you're like, oh, it's over. It's over. It's going down. And then it has that recovery back to the upside, like what happened there.
yeah,
So
yeah,
definitely, I think, if we can get that, beautiful. And then
yeah.
you start dipping into this consolidation area over here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a classic descending triangle breakdown. I see this
Yes.
on many, many altcoins, and the breakdown gives you the best buying opportunity, right? Because a lot of
Yes.
people, when they analyze a descending triangle, oh, we broke the support, we're going to continue this big, massive downtrend. I just want to share the chart to take a look at Bitcoin, which basically formed that massive descending triangle back in the day of 2018, right? Where you have that, huge, gigantic kind of descending triangle formation right over here with lower highs, right? And you got that base, really nice base at the $6,000 range. And this is actually where I started buying Bitcoin, well, remember my entire life in 2018. So, yeah, basically, descending triangle formation, you get the breakdown. Oh my goodness, I remember this stage here where you had Tone Vays and a lot of major influencers from back in the day calling for $1,000 Bitcoin. No doubt this was the massive accumulation point for Bitcoin at the low $3,000 area. And when you do take a look at big time, I wouldn't say we're forming something the same, but just to consider that we are forming like a descending triangle. We're touching base. No doubt it is okay to accumulate, because no doubt after a few months, you will be in profits at some point. It is a good project. It does have, very good projection roadmap. So, it will likely, highly likely recover. Of course, no financial advice, guys. There's nothing safe in this world, not only crypto, but it does have very good projections. And if you do get that breakdown from that descending triangle, right, just going to big time right there, just to take a look at the charts right away on the higher time frames, it will just bring the obvious, pretty obvious good opportunity to step in right there. If you do break down from this descending triangle in the next coming weeks, would be looking for a bottom formation and then a major rally.
Yeah.
Just very, very similar to what happened to Bitcoin right over here. Because, I mean, altcoins will pop very strongly at some point in between 24, 25, right? More entering into 25, in my opinion. But yeah, that's no doubt. And big time, it's a good project. It's a good project. The projection, roadmap, everything looks really good for rest of 24 and 25. So no, it's at a good accumulation stages, no doubt. And if it does get that dip, I would consider getting some. I haven't got any big time, the disclaimer right there. You can't own everything, right? There's so many altcoins that I would want to buy to devault,
Yes.
but you
Just
cannot
can't.
buy everything. No.
You just can't. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe if you have a $100 million portfolio, you can go and buy 1,000 altcoins, but
Yeah.
you have to start
Exactly.
prioritizing and filter
Yeah.
out the process. So definitely.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I
And
see
one
a
of
lot of,
them,
sorry, Andy.
yeah. Yeah, no,
I s-
I've got someone saying SOAR, which is XOR, SOAR network. This is one that went into hyperinflation. It's one of my risky altcoins that I basically it just went it went into a hyperinflation and got wrecked basically on this one. I basically lost 99% of my funds on that one.
Sounds like
Um,
Luna.
yeah, kind of. It went to a hyperinflation stage, and however, it was not even 2% of my portfolio. So it's you take a hit on some of them, and on other ones such as Metis, Phantom, you do really nice quick flips, and you regain more than you've lost, obviously. So anyway, yeah, Sora is one of them. I basically lost 99%, and I do see very, very hard for it to recover. Right, it's one of those projects that. Yeah. Anyway, I know some a lot of people. Luna was going to be like the next big thing, and I know a lot of people, especially influencers. I'm not going to say any names here,
Yes.
that actually were betting very, very hard and lost a lot of money on the collapse of Terra Luna. It is what it is. At the end of the
I
day,
also lost a lot of money
yeah,
during the Luna because I think I was so influenced by everyone hyping up this project. I had the
yeah,
Terra Luna staking protocol on my
yeah,
phone. And yeah, when that thing, and I mean, the problem with that token was that you have like a 31 day unlock period. So I had them all staked and locked. And when I saw the dump, I couldn't sell. I was just locked in. I couldn't. I just saw it crash, and there's nothing that I could do about it.
Crazy. These events, Luna, I remember Luna, FTX collapse.
Yes,
I remember
yes.
C19 collapse in 2020. These events are just so entertaining, to be honest. For me, they are very entertaining because, you know, I don't get scared or any, you know, back in the day, you know, the C19 crash was pretty disturbing to live, right, for everybody, right? All of this lockdown thing and everything, you know, worldwide was actually pretty shocking. But still, I knew it was a great investment opportunity for sure.
Yeah.
So
you buy up the fear. You buy the fear. Definitely.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people are asking for Litecoin. And
Yes. Let's go right away. I mean, I can take a look at well, I think somebody wanted your opinion on Litecoin because I did analysis on Litecoin. I think he did at Choo Choo TV. You know, he did ask me on the previous live stream. And my opinion is that Litecoin is potentially going to break that high from July of 2023 to form a very large third wave to the upside. Now, of course, you know, if you do take a look at Bitcoin Cash has just gone
doing amazing. It's on its
gone
way. It's
through the
like a
roof.
rocket. Yes.
It's gone through the roof. And I knew this was going to happen because Bitcoin Cash lags behind Bitcoin by a lot, not only a few days. And it's happened on previous cycles and previous movements to the upside. It takes months before Bitcoin, you know, it takes months basically after Bitcoin pumping so aggressively that Bitcoin Cash suddenly starts rocketing. And I remember, you know, several weeks ago saying, you know, Bitcoin Cash is just going to get a massive move at some point. So obviously not looking at to leverage trade, but, you know, for buying on spot, you know, I was saying, hey, this is pretty good buy on Bitcoin Cash. And no doubt all these paying platforms, they have Bitcoin, they have Ethereum, they have Tether, but they also have Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin. They have these OG projects that have been proven to be safe on the network that they will run. You know, and you can see Litecoin, and Litecoin is, I'm saying, you know, hey, this is going to run at some point. It's going to run strong at some point.
And it looks like it wants to. You know, it looks like it's building up that spring for an explosion. And I think for me to turn really bullish on Litecoin is I would like to see us hold above this 0.618 level, basically holding above these highs over here. So I would like for us to break out and hold above. And I do see then a target of $178 potentially if it can manage to hold this uptrend here. I do see this as definitely a profit taking area. And I mean, the third waves can be very explosive. I just want to make people aware. I usually take this as a nice TP1, like you've done on Phantom as well, Andy, and me on Dogecoin, because third waves can be very explosive. You just never know how high they can go. So the 1.618 level is considered a common third wave target. Okay, where I will definitely take some off the table, and depending, you know, I mean, if we had to come and just do that and find support above it, and it means, you know, we're just going to go and climb the stairs up there. But 178, maybe if we're lucky, 252, but you just never know how explosive they can get. But it does look like it's building up a 1, 2, and this is potentially that third wave here to the upside. Definitely.
Looks pretty interesting. I think Litecoin goes, it lags behind, such as Bitcoin Cash, but, you know, Bitcoin Cash is just, I think it's trading around about $700, and we're only trading at $300 a few weeks ago. So it's done over a 2x, done well over a 2x in just a matter of a couple of weeks, if I'm not mistaken. So Litecoin is another OG one. It's you know, that you would want to say that it's the silver of you know, the digital silver, as this is what they said, you know, back in the day, many years ago. You know, gold, Bitcoin is the digital gold. Litecoin is the digital silver, right? Just a silly fact that they used to say back in the day. The vault, I think we are good. We've been an hour and 30 minutes on the live stream. You know, it's been absolutely amazing. Legends, make sure to follow Dewalt. I've got the link here in the comment section right away. It's in the pinned comment. He has his own YouTube channel. He does post every single day his analysis on Bitcoin and some other markets, also, and on some other altcoins. So check him out, guys. Share some love, smash up the like button. Dewalt, thank you very much for joining the stream. Is there any last thing that you would want to say to the community?
But also from my community, Andy, thanks for having me. I also have Andy's link down in my description of my video. For those of you, that's on my community, you haven't seen Andy, you've seen us talk together, go check out Andy's video. Great alpha that Andy delivers, daily analysis, YouTube updates, and as always, come and join our Legends community, 25% discount where you get the alpha first before we actually upload our videos. And that's basically it from my side. A chilled Sunday afternoon stream. I had fun. I hope everyone had fun. Smash the like on your way out. Thank you so much for having me, Andy.
Thanks, Dewalt. Speak soon.
Thank you. Cheers.